Welcome back to the Don't Cancel Us podcast. This is season 2.
Season 2.
How are you feeling?
I feel great. Season 2.
We made it to season 2.
I can't believe it.
It's epic.
We're here. This is an epic moment. A lot of, I don't know the statistics, but I'm going to make one up. About 72% of Black Girl podcasts do not make it to season 2. But
Please do not fact check that. Don't fact check.
We made it.
I did not know where that was going for a second.
I was like, what's the fact? We're full of surprises.
Also, 72% of all Black friendships don't always last. So
Asterisk that.
there's that.
Here we are.
We made
a
it.
friendship podcast.
Hello.
One of the feedbacks that we receive is that a lot of people have friends or they don't have friends. But when they do have friends, they just don't know what activities to do. Mm-hmm. And as this group, we do a lot together. Literally, we have our own podcast. And I feel like we travel the whole world. So I'm just wondering, what are some friendship activities that we can share with our audience and people who are scrolling? What's some things y'all do with y'all friends?
I immediately thought travel, and I was just also thinking about how we're trying to keep expenses, like maybe be mindful of them.
Okay.
So maybe travel's not ideal, but we travel a lot together.
We do travel a lot together.
But it's very ideal. I think people, and Chari can probably speak on this a lot, but a lot of people have this misconception about what travel looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that it has to look luxury. It has to look like what you see on Instagram.
Absolutely.
Which, again, that's a different conversation, but it can be. My friend Yasmine taught me.
Who is she? Where is she at? Yasmine?
That you can make anything possible for yourself.
Hey,
and
that's
honestly,
beautiful.
when I think about that, it makes me like every and any little thing. I've always been a person who tries anything that comes to mind. Mm-hmm. In moderation. And
You don't want to know where my mind went. You don't want to know where
bro.
my mind went. Girl, I almost got this canceled for real.
Bro.
But when it comes to traveling, there's a space for everyone in any capacity to try. But that is definitely one of our favorite things to do.
Yeah.
Literally, we will go to another country for the weekend. Is in the name of, but it's a deal. Like,
Right. I mean,
deal.
we might be the frontier girlies. We might be the
Honestly?
spirit girlies.
Delta, don't listen to that.
We are also
I'm a
Sky
Delta
Miles
girly on the
reward
side.
members.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey,
We also
I fought for my mileage now.
we also have pre-check.
Okay,
Hello.
I just got
We're
there.
not
I
in
just got
line
there.
with y'all.
Global
common
entry,
folk. Okay.
bitches.
Well, I love that you all mentioned travel because there's this clip that I want to play, and I'm going to play it, and then we can kind of like edit it later. But it's from the BlackGirls Bravado podcast. And the topic was, I can't afford my friends. Ooh. So before I play the clip, what are your thoughts about that?
I'm tired of talking to broke bitches.
Oh, what do you mean?
Listen,
He's cracking up, by the way. If you're listening to this in the car,
this topic resonates with me.
Okay.
Because there are moments where I have to ask myself, am I overdoing it just to be with my friends?
Okay.
Yeah. And I got more friends. I'm playing, y'all.
You do.
But there are times where there is a challenge and I have to ask myself and humble myself, and I don't mind doing it, where I'm like, hey, this looks like this for you and I love it for you, but I don't think I can do this. Or if I do it, this is what this is my capacity in it. A lot of times though, I may just do it and just chuck it to the game.
Okay.
But that resonates with me. I can see how people who don't know how to use their resources can be overwhelmed with a flight, a hotel, an excursion, all in 2.5 days.
Are you just thinking of trip, or are you just thinking of other activities? Maybe it's like dinner. Sometimes you know when your friends invite you out to dinner and you're like, girl, I just went out last week with you.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's the difference I think that's one thing that we do differently. One, we don't travel for likes, okay? As much as we love air balloons in the background while we have Turkish coffee, we're not going to Turkey for the aesthetic.
Right.
Unless it's a sponsorship, baby.
Hello?
If you listening,
open to it. Obviously, we're open to it. Again, we love to travel, but it's not like, I feel like some people look on Instagram and they try to like do that exact same thing.
Same thing.
And then that's how you end up
looking broke.
in Dubai. Like, you can't do what they're doing all the time. Yachts cost money. Flying private costs $30,000 one way. So don't try to go on, Instagram.
And that's just to Miami.
Hello to Tulum. So don't think that you can just look on Instagram and be like, oh, I want to do that, because we will get there by any means. I remember being stuck at Atlanta airport when we missed our Delta flight to New York, and this girl was willing to take 2 buses in a train.
I don't think you guys missed it. I think they canceled on
They
us.
Oh, yes. They definitely canceled on us.
Literally 2 buses in a train. Like I
was like, it's Curfest. We gotta go.
New York, baby.
And it's New York in the summertime.
Come
Okay, I will
on.
fight for that any day.
There's nothing like summer in the city. Okay?
Hello.
Hamilton
But
said it
I
best.
love how you mentioned, like, don't be the person that's trying to copycat Instagram. Because
Don't.
people see friendship stuff on Instagram and they're trying to copy
Yes.
it. Which, get inspired by it. Use
We
it as
are
a
an
template.
inspiration.
I mean, we
Okay,
are.
baby.
And we fly Frontier sometimes.
Yeah. So wait, before we get too deep in the conversation, I'm going to play the clip here and then we can kind of expand on it a little bit later.
Okay.
So I'll play the clip and then we can insert it.
29 titled
Okay.
Can't Afford My Friends. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? There's a study that discovered that 40% of millennials overspend to keep up with friends. For many people, friendship has become an expensive affair.
We going to brunches, we going to day parties, we going to trips, people are getting married.
The girlies are jet setting, going to different countries, the Turks and Caicos, Barbados.
Social media creates a lot of pressure for us. You see all these other friend groups or people doing
They be
cute
running
shit.
it up.
I'm like, look at all the cute shit they're doing.
I know.
Research
Okay.
has shown that we are more likely to want to participate in an experience or have a certain experience after we've seen it on social media, and we know how that works.
It's normal to spend some sort of money together and on each other. And if you value that and you can afford it, that's perfectly fine. We're not saying that money's not going to be spent. The problem is when we're going into debt to keep up. Oh, there was an
Okay, so
Yikes.
shout out to the girls from the BlackGirls Bravado Podcast. I'm going to drop one of Clues bombs for them. He wasn't expecting me to say that.
He liked the way we moved in with that one.
Yes.
Shout out to our producer.
All right, we're gonna drop one of Clues bombs for them. There we go. I think she had a lot of great points that we kind of touched on before, which was seeing things on social media and trying to implement it and make it the same exact thing. But one of the biggest points that I like is like, we can do things, we can spend money with each other, but we not gonna go into debt.
That part threw me. Like,
No.
y'all, I will use my Delta credit card, okay? But I'm the first one to know when that thing is gonna be zero, okay? I'm not letting it, no.
We don't do
This
half
credit
the
score
stuff-
matters.
Half the stuff on the list. Weddings? No. We're not doing that.
No.
Oh, you right. I got, yeah.
Day parties?
Day parties.
And let's be on the list.
Parties.
That part.
We don't go out unless it's to support each other. The last time I went to a party or a club, it was Dane's show.
Okay, and
That's
that's a good point about our activities that we do. A lot of the activities we
Free.
host, we
Yes.
host
Yes.
them ourselves.
Yes.
And that's
Rachel
one
will
thing.
cook.
Rachel will definitely cook. I'll plan out that trip
I'll
itinerary.
make the drinks.
Yasmine will bring all the good time with us. So I think that when you think about friendship activities, what are some other things that you guys like to do that maybe that doesn't cost a lot of money?
Yeah. This reminds me of that year do y'all remember when we did
The color.
Yes.
and
Okay,
we
picked
celebrated a holiday
Yes.
at a
Explain.
different time each month. So we put like a bunch of holidays in a hat, and then we put months in the hat or something like that. Or like the person.
We did two separate pals. One was month and one was
One was the
holiday?
holiday, and the other was the person who was going to do it.
okay.
Maybe.
Something. Yeah. We don't remember the logistics, but basically we were randomly picking a holiday to celebrate at a random time of month. random time of the month.
Yes.
So like Valentine's Day in December, for example. So we did that for a full year. So each month we would rotate, or we would talk about like different countries, and like you had to make a dish from that country. You had to tell us about the flag and like what all the colors mean. And then, like
I think that's what we did for Memorial or something.
We did Memorial, but then I also remember doing Jamaica and Ghana because I made jollof rice for the first time.
Yes.
Shout out to me.
Yes.
And so you can come up with fun, creative ideas. So I think when I think of activities, that's the first thing I can think of where we didn't really spend as much money. It took more like creative time and like, you know, us being intentional about when we were going to meet up and just finding something creative to do. Like we love to travel, and when we couldn't travel, we talk about travel. Like did a whole presentation about it. So you can create those moments for yourself if it's not in your budget. Like if you've always wanted to go to Vietnam, like learn about Vietnamese food, learn about some of the language.
Go on a food tour with Vietnamese pho places. Like
in your city.
Essentially that's what we do. We do like very regular things, but with a twist. With a little bit of creativity, salt and seasoning on there.
Yeah.
And so, you know, something that Yasmine loves to say is that anytime she's experiencing something, she asks herself, how can I make this better?
Yeah.
And I loved it when she said it because it really made every moment and every intention towards something just that much more special. And so it's like, we can say we're, you know, doing Valentine's Day like everyone does it, but there's a twist that we're going to add to it. Or 4th of July, we're going to talk about other countries' independence and celebrate their food and their culture and dance. And make it a growth moment for us all. So I think the biggest thing is, one, relaxing the expectation of what your activities have to look like. And be creative. Ask ChatGPT.
Our assistant, we love her.
Like you can do this very, very simple things and add a twang to it. Meeting a new person, you're going to get your nails done. You meet a girl who's sitting next to you. Make it a date. Like
remember when we played charades in like New Orleans?
In Chicago.
Okay, see, you know. All right.
And we literally were playing with random people in the street. It was the best thing ever. But literally very simple things, didn't cost us anything. You know, of course, after getting to Chicago. But meeting people didn't cost nothing. And, you know, you'd never know. You can meet your husband outside.
One thing I do want to point out is I think sometimes people are not honest with their friends, or they're not honest with their bank accounts. So they're trying to keep up with their friends. They're trying to keep up with going out to eat. They're trying to keep up going on trips. So what are your thoughts about the person who's like, not 100% honest, and they're kind of like performative in their friend group? Because I think that's where like you can't have an honest friendship. That's where you can't have honest friendship
activities. At that point, y'all probably ain't going nowhere. For real.
They're probably just gossiping. And I think that's the one thing about our friendship is like we have a little shade room screenshots in our
the
group
tea
chat.
gotta be served hot.
Oh my God.
But we also talk about deep things. We also talk about growth. And I find in a lot of groups that I'm observing it's very surface. It's very like pop culture, very like what's going on with Beyonce's hair care product. And I think sometimes it's hard for them to have deep conversations and call it fun, call it a friendship activity. Because we do that. We call these things fun, whereas somebody can be like, that was much. I'm not hanging out with that group.
I mean, if you've listened to last season, we talk about how we all show up, and even just looking at us now and the different prints happening, the colors, the fits, the showing skin, not showing skin. It's the whole thing. And you know, you just have to make sure that whoever you're doing these things with, they show up in a way that you want them to.
Yeah.
Because it just adds to the activity and the funness that you're having.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure. It's a creating space to allow people to be themselves.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not going to be like, Yasmine, you have to wear a cut off Adidas shirt. Sometimes we have color palettes and things. But I also know that Yasmine's going to show up the way she wants to show up.
In her version.
And I love the way she shows up, and I don't want to alter that.
Aww.
So I think that is one of the biggest things with friendship activities is
so
we don't want to have expectations that somebody's going to show up for you when you know time and time again that's not their thing.
Yeah.
So stop forcing on them.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to skydive if you don't want to skydive.
Oh, hello.
I mean, I really wonder if it would help people, because it does. Sometimes it feels like it doesn't matter how many times we say this, but people, I don't know what they want. It's like, how can we make people really feel empowered to make the next step? Because for us, I think we get a kick out of just challenging each other. Like, there's a deal Delta's having. Who's gonna buy it first? It sometimes can sound unsafe.
That's already purchased. Done.
Here's my receipt. Let me know when you guys get there.
I think that's the premise of our friendship, though, is travel. And I think you just kind of have to find that foundation of where your friends thrive. If it is going out to eat, then it is taking that initiative and sending the restaurant in the group chat and saying, hey, y'all, I made a reservation at 5 p.m. for the 3 of us. Would love for y'all to show up. That's initiative, you know?
Yes. Speaking on initiatives, I think it's important to really discuss, like, this is genuine, but we really have to make calendar requests and have meetings about the next time we're meeting and what time and what works for everyone's schedule.
Right now.
It's a real thing. We use our calendars to make things happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so that's really, really important, because if there's anxiety around the thing itself and no one's pushing the envelope, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, we are very intentional about showing up, because it's one thing to plan like a cute Valentine's Day, whatever.
For Instagram.
Right. That's another thing.
For Instagram and not be intentional in the moment.
Right. Yeah. Like, you don't have to have a Valentine's Day like that. You don't have, first of all, balloons are $14 each at Party City. If y'all are out there doing that.
They really are. It's $14.99. Okay. I have 7 nieces.
Hello.
I know.
You don't got to do all that. You could just have a cute little kickback at the house and be a little bit more intentional, but you have to show up as well.
Yes.
And you can't be late all the time. We're here at this moment right now because we were intentional about it, and we planned it, and we talked about it, and we planned it, and we talked about it, and we had a meeting about
and
it.
We texted about it.
And
we had a few meetings about it. I think a few things I'm hearing from you is that, what's up? You want to check on
Well, I was going to say,
go ahead.
I had a question. No, finish this, because I want to add something more exciting.
Okay, more exciting. Here we go. All right. What I'm going to say is
she's tired. She's sleepy. She's bored.
I didn't mean it like that.
She's I'm bored. Hurry up.
Yeah, just
Rush the process. Wrap it up.
What I'm hearing from Yasmine is the intentionality of putting it on the calendar, but also not criticizing someone because they can't make it. It's kind of like working around each other's schedule.
Yes.
And
it's hard.
Being intentional about showing up for your friend who needs you, and being expressive to your friend, like, hey, I want you there. You can't really always assume that somebody wants you there, but it is nice to be like, hey, I want you there. Like, here's the invite. Please come. I want to see you. Like, I know Rachel does a few events, and we all still send each other invites. Even to your dinner, you sent us an invite. Yeah. So that is like amazing things to still treat your friends like quality.
It matters a little bit. Be nice. Be nice. And I do just want to touch on the brokenness for a little bit, because I have been broke.
We're entrepreneurs.
All of us here.
Hello.
Don't let us fool you.
I've had friends, like, I love my friends. I love these friends, and I just love all my friends. But I've had a friend where we have the story of like being at a really cheap Mexican restaurant in New York City and just being like, try one, like Russian roulette with your credit cards. Just like, I don't know how we're going to get this meal, but let's just try them all. And it's okay. If you can't be honest with your friends about your financial situation, then they are probably not, as close to you, until you don't need to spend your time and your money with them anyway. They're not valuable friends.
Don't get into debt with that one.
Okay, don't do it. Because there's been times where they've had my back in all types of ways, and I've been able to support them in all types of ways. And So it's okay if you don't got it, but you should be comfortable enough to say that you don't got it so that your friends can cover you, or y'all switch the plan up a little bit. Like, I can't go outside tonight.
Come to my house.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
And that's okay.
It's fine.
That's okay.
It's still, we still have an amazing time together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the pressure's on because it has to be fun.
Time.
I guess, what's the next fun trip you would want to plan with us that is budget conscious? If you could.
Trip. Actually, you know what? You mentioned budget conscious, but I don't want to be budget conscious. Like, I want us to do like...
And this is why I'm broke. I'm playing.
I want us to plan a trip that is very luxury, very like... Money doesn't matter. Of course, we can work towards it and like and build up to it. But I would love a luxury driver, chef,
easy
massage, whatever you guys want. We got like maybe even getting flued out on a jet.
I have my answer.
So yeah, that's kind of what I imagine is probably somewhere tropical. Somewhere where we can like all be princesses for a day.
Abu Dhabi easily. Saudi Arabia easily.
Okay.
Easily.
Is that luxury or is that like
luxury?
budget?
Egypt
100%.
Easily. The hotel with the view of the pyramids easily. Easily. Wrap
Or
me
even
up,
going
baby.
to Kenya and with that one with the
Or even
giraffes.
taking that luxury train ride through Zanzibar. You can stop and do safari and all these. Come on.
Yeah.
But cheap. If we're doing budget, Miami easily, Jamaica easily.
Everything's easy to her.
Yes.
The process is easy. It's just the decision and the finances that make the...
Literally.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The one thing about me though is that I am a mindful travel coach and I help people travel. So if you are looking to travel on your budget, it doesn't have to be shoestring budget. It can be luxury or it can be shoestring. I'm your gal.
Ooh, I like how you did that.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
And another plug is if you have not liked, subscribe, comment below. This is your time to subscribe, share our podcast. We are on Spotify, YouTube, and Patreon.
And honestly, we might really have to look into having some kind of like group trip, live show, something that engages our listeners to wanting to have a more personal experience with us.
That just reminded me, our live show coming up in May.
I know.
I didn't know we were dropping that, but y'all trying to hear a live show?
Soft launch.
Think so
Soft
either.
launch. Soft launch.
Launch.
Soft launch.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I have another question for us, and we were on the topic of just like being honest with friends and feeling like you can show up fully as yourself. So my question to you both is, what do you see in me that I don't see in myself?
Okay. I think the part I'm a little stuck on is whether you're not seeing it in yourself part.
Yeah, well, let's see. And maybe you can probably hear it as like, I'm not acting on it if I don't know. Just take it how you hear it.
Maybe rest.
Rest? Explain.
I think you could rest more. Maybe. Mm-hmm. And that's, you probably don't
think she needs it or
seem tired to yourself. But I think something that you could probably do, I think we could all do, well, not me, because Rachel knows I will sleep till tomorrow.
Rachel knows.
Yeah, I think you could take a break. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, tick tock.
Tick tock, yo, ticky tock, yo.
I would say somewhere in the space of rest, but more so allow yourself to see how far you've come.
Celebrate.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm celebrating.
More celebrating. I think just because of the way your personality is, even when you're celebrating, sometimes it looks like work. Mm-hmm. Because you're just so formulated sometimes.
There's a lot of planning going into the celebration.
And so just more of celebrating and not giving two fucks. Like, just pausing. It's fine if we have no plan, you know. So.
Yeah.
I love that we mentioned this because I'm an Aquarius.
Now she brought it up, right? Y'all heard her.
I'm an Aquarius, and I think one of the difficult things that I do struggle with is people not accepting the fact that we are like workers, and like that is our rest. You know, like I definitely
rest?
No.
For me, I can speak for myself. I go to bed.
I guess I just did that thing.
Oops. I go to bed at 9:30, but I understand like it may look busy, and so I don't have like the exact wording, but it is like one of those things where I find a lot of people who are my sign have that struggle of
balance.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Not balance, but like people perceiving the excitement of work as like this person is working, where it's like this is where they thrive. This is what they like to do. So it's hard for others to receive what they like to do. So they label it as like they're working. If that makes any sense.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I don't want to say it makes sense for you to say that.
Right. That's what she really wants to say.
No, it's the thought is growing.
I told y'all she gonna fight us with her brain.
The thought is growing, so I have to think of different things. But that's a fair. Do you want to answer that question for us all?
What was the question? I didn't hear a question.
What do you see in your what do you see in each other or us?
So me answer for Rachel?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, how like brave. She's so fierce. Mm-hmm. Like it's annoying watching her like belittle her talents and abilities. Mm-hmm. Just she walks around like she's some tiny little ant who's just like, I'm so incapable. I can't do this thing.
Meanwhile, she has a whole launch. She just came back from Jamaica. Bag still packed.
Like did a whole documentary. I mean, talk about not stopping to celebrate. This girl, I don't know. You don't see yourself at all. I think how the world sees you as this like fierce, bright, radiant being, and you just all day just like,
well, and it's funny because
so
it doesn't like read as like moping, but it kind of reads like, as like
wake up, girl. Look,
it's not enough.
I haven't done enough.
Open your eyes.
It feels that way.
It makes me want to just be like, open your eyes and just look at what this is. What it says. Just all day.
I think my theme this year or this season is going to be #I'm African.
What does that even mean?
The pressures of culture and expectations like and whether they're pushed.
Give me more. This is good.
The pressure and expectations of your parents, your family, just being a third child. What does
that mean?
In my culture, there's a way that the third born behaves. It's almost like black sheep.
Okay.
So there's different things.
Can you feel that?
I don't feel it, but it's something that no matter where I am, no matter where I am in terms of like if I'm in Ghana or here, like when I'm described, if my mom's friend sees me, they have a word that they say, that's my mansa in our language. And that means that's my third born. Third borns have a thing about them.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like,
that's not fair.
I've never really looked into it, but it's something that is like, or sometimes they'll meet all of us and like some people will be like, that must be your mansa. Like, yeah, and it's it's
you
automatic.
Give that energy.
Yeah,
wow.
I sit in it because I'm like, I am who I am. People been telling me I've been like this since I was like 4. What am I supposed to do?
Right.
I'm gonna keep showing up the way I show up, and so I don't think it's always bad, but there are things that fall under being a mansa or a third born, and
you feel like you wear it or you're like dismissing it.
No, if that's what I wear, then I wear it. I'm okay.
Hello.
I'm okay with it. But I also recognize that it exists. And so is that where it's like, if I have a vision for something I want to do, naturally, if I haven't reached that vision, everything else is not that vision. So I can't celebrate it. And I'm just working on being better at, okay, you did this. It's okay. This is a good thing. You can celebrate this good thing.
It's a very good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about that.
I'm thinking on like, what do I see in you that I don't think you see in yourself? And I think Yasmine kind of touched on a few things.
Piggyback.
Not gonna piggy on her back, but I would say similarly to what you said to me of like stopping and smelling the roses and like kind of like being where your feet are, you know, just like accepting the fact that you are who you are. And I think we all are very similar that we're very ambitious, all of us, and we see our future so clear that sometimes the vision being so clear stops us from being today. And so I challenge all of us to kind of like look down and just like, all right, let me just be where my feet are. I'm in Atlanta. I'm in grad school. I'm a mom. You're traveling. You have a business. You're decorating homes. Like, be there, because when the time passed, for me, I don't really remember those moments. Like first year of grad school was like out my head because a lot was happening for me transitionally. So
transitionally. Look at that.
So what about Yas, Rach? What is something that you see in Yasmine that she does not see in herself?
The problem is she's a Leo.
Hello.
So
astrology check again.
Unfortunately, I've learned that they know what they are.
Hello.
And so it's...
Did you just brush your line?
I did. My scalp.
But I think something she doesn't see in herself. That's a hard one, because I feel like a lot of things that she does, she learned to do to live better with people and with herself, right? Like, and I think she's mentioned like therapy and all these things where she has taken a lot away from these experiences, and it has helped her be intentional in her life. And so sometimes when I say things like, oh my God, Yasmine's full of shit, there's a range, because one, she's being intentional. So sometimes some of what she does, it just seems so far, like you're like, who really has this response? Why? But that's her really showing up to saying something like, I want to speak to people this way. I want people to feel good. I want this. Yeah. And she does it. So, something you don't see about yourself. Jeez.
That's tough.
You can't be nice to her because she already got it in her head. Talk about the,
I welcome it.
I think something that
Chari's like, well, I have one.
Well, yeah, I think it all goes along to similarly what we all been saying, but because you are a people person and you can read a room really well, I think you can also try to receive when somebody's also like, when somebody wants to help you or pour on you, you don't have to always tell them it's okay, because that can sometimes stop someone from wanting to do more for you, because it can read like, oh, she got it, or she's fine. She doesn't need me because she's like, oh, no, it's fine. It's okay. No, I'm good. I'll eat chicken this time, even though I haven't ate chicken in 10 years. And it's like, girl, let me help you. It's okay to allow people to help you, because that niceness can be dismissive, because someone also is trying to offer help and you're saying, no, it's okay. Does that make sense?
No, it makes a lot of sense.
You are giving like Kerry Washington right now. Yes.
She is an Aquarius.
Is my mouth...
I think it was your mouth, and y'all know the Kerry mouth. So she was giving that.
My mouth is dry.
Okay. I didn't want to say it out loud, but I was like, maybe her mouth is dry.
Wow.
But yeah.
You can see that?
I can see what you're saying, but I guess took your question in a way that I had to say something positive that she wasn't aware that she was doing.
You can.
That's where I was, not that I was stuck on, but I was saying that she's a Leo and like they have been a certain way. And I could see how that's still positive to say, hey, show me where I can show up for you.
Yeah, because
in
it's
any
really
capacity.
hard. Because I feel like you come very packaged, and like I think all of us come that way. Like we're all very strong and like it's fine, it's okay, we got it. If anything, y'all know I'm gonna get it done. If anything, I know Rachel's gonna get it done. If anything, I know Yasmine's gonna get it done. You know, and all of us have that strong attribute about each other. So
yeah, I think this is my being raised an only child showing up. So you guys have sisters and y'all are close to your sisters. So I guess you naturally expect things to be group projects.
Oh.
I don't, because for most of my life, it's just been me. Mm-hmm. But I can see how I could, I don't know, be still guarded in the same way or like very independent. And so, yeah, I think I can definitely lean on the people in my life a lot more.
Let's take a deep breath right now.
Not everyone exhaling.
I know. Sorry for your ears. All right, Rachel, don't cancel you, but what you got
feel
going
like
on?
every time Chari wants to start something, she starts with me.
I'm sorry, Yasmine. Don't cancel me, but
Okay, don't cancel me, but I'm growing. But sometimes when I pass gas, I catch it in my hand, bring it to my face and smell it.
yikes.
I've done that before.
In a bottle too?
No,
And cap it up.
I just cup it in my hand.
Yeah, and bring it. It works. It works. I've tested it.
You've tested
so
a
many.
lot of
Oh my
things.
God, so many times. I will hop in. Don't cancel me. But I want to start like an Instagram where I share how to do inappropriate things, or better yet,
The OnlyFans?
no, but like I want to do hacks. Like I felt that. I said, ooh, hack. If I wasn't speaking English, now I am.
Okay.
Please come over.
But I do, like Yasmine reminded me when she mentioned passing gas, because like if you're next to your man and you got gas, you just got a fresh wax and don't want it to roll off your
She
booty.
taught me this.
Hold your cheeks apart.
Changed my life.
It's amazing.
Wait,
I've been doing it with Yasmine
What? Pause.
in my bed.
Pause. So you're telling me if you have to fart and you don't want it to be encapsulated in between the cheeks, you feel the fart come. So this is the cheeks right here.
Yes.
So you take your hands and pull
Just
this-
one cheek.
Separate the
you
cheeks.
separate one cheek like
yeah,
that.
because one cheek gonna stay in one place.
But if you have the
y'all
ability
can see
to
our-
do both,
our producer's face right now, he's the only male in the room.
If
and
you're
he is
thick,
if you think like me, you can
and you
grab
gotta
both
hold on the
cheeks.
side. Yes, but literally just grab one, because what happens is what causes the noise is your skin and it being closed. So
That was the friction.
the air just
If
bubbles
you
back, and that's what
leave
creates the
space
sound.
for the air to flow.
All right, y'all.
Exactly.
It won't make a sound or much of a sound.
Hello, I'm helping y'all. I mean, it's natural.
When is this gonna come out? When is this?
It's been
The faceless account, by the way. I already got the ideas. How are we gonna do this?
Speaking of
ChatGPT, what's
account,
going on?
Make sure y'all are following us on Instagram at Don't Cancel Us Cast.
Yes.
YouTube at Don't Cancel Us Cast, on our Patreon account, and Spotify for podcasters.
Yes. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this week's episode. Please put that bell on so you can get the notification about our podcast.
Indeed. And we really hope that you can walk away with this, listening to this episode and realizing how much power you have in just making a decision to do something with your friend at whatever budget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Be yourself, honestly.
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Hashtag.
It's not a big deal.
Bye.
Bye, ciao. Adios.
What?
That's me practicing for Colombia.